Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. We are one day removed from the All-Star game that was really, it was a 3-2 game, but I almost want to say it's the best All-Star telecast in the last 5 to 10 years.
They really had some thought process in there to really keep the fans interested, and I love how they mic'd up the players. I know we were texting back and forth. The Toronto pitcher, when they mic'd him up in the second inning, I thought that was unbelievable. I really got to feel what a pitcher goes through. I never knew they make noises sometimes up there, and they're they throw the ball.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
they even give themselves words of encouragement.
It was literally talking to himself, like almost like there was a pitcher when I was a kid, and you probably remember him too, Mark Fidrich.
Of course, the bird. Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, he used to talk to the ball and up there, but to see that this guy up there, and he struck out the side, by the way. He had interactions with the broadcasters.
Yeah.
He actually asked him
what to throw.
Right, what do I throw on this guy? He said a back slider,
backdoor slider, or something.
Yeah.
But he went with a fast. He was like, "Yeah, I agree with you, but
but he hit him, and he went to the first base. But then he struck out the next guy. He was like, "I'm not listening to these guys." But it was amazing. He goes, he had to put the glove up. What's the scouting report on this guy? And they would tell him, I just thought it was so cool, him up there.
Yeah.
And he just was so pumped. He was in his All-Star game, and they mic'd up so many people. They mic'd up, I think it was the next inning in the outfield, they mic'd up Judge.
Yeah.
And there was another, they mic'd up my mind's
Yeah,
at
I'm
a
trying
loss.
to think of who it was.
Well, the great left fielder, of course, but they mic'd up both Yankees, and it was so cool, the interaction. They're talking to each other in the field. And I just thought it was pretty cool how they were, you see the ball and, they'll say, okay, here we go. And if a ball's coming to them or something, every inning someone was mic'd up. Yeah. Then they mic'd up like in the bullpen, not the bullpen, in the dugout, guys that were on the top step talking to each other about things. It was so cool how they got that fan interaction.
It's the other guy what about the other guy on the Yankees who came up to bat, and he's like, they're introducing him, and he says, I can't believe I'm an All-Star.
That was great. It's the catcher,
right? The catcher, Trevino. Yeah,
the catcher.
I can't believe I'm an All-Star.
He was so pumped up when he
got a hit. He's like, he gets that hit down the right field line. He's like, let's go.
Well, they recorded him when the Yankee manager Boone came over and told him you're going to be an All-Star, and the kid was like almost crying when they told him it. So. It was really fun. It was a fun game.
I really like the new rule where the commissioner gets to appoint one or multiple players to the game for like legacy purposes. So that's how Albert Pujols was an All-Star. That's how Cabrera was an All-Star. I really like that.
It was nice. Pujols was in the home run competition and some controversy.
Got out of the first round.
Do you know about that controversy?
No.
Now there's a controversy that came out that ESPN messed up that by one, and they should have went to a
tiebreaker.
Yeah, but Pujols. By the way, there was someone on Twitter. Actually, Caesar's Palace put it out there. I'm going to shock you here, John. That Caesar's actually talked about this, and they did it beforehand. Here it is. A bettor in Nevada just placed $54,000 on Kyle Schwarber in a first-round matchup against Pujols. So this guy lost $54,000.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a buddy that told me Schwarber was a lock.
Yeah.
And I wrote back, dude, the Cinderella story. You don't avoid the Cinderella story, right? Like Albert might have won that thing last night. I mean, obviously that's a stretch. Sure. But, you got to be careful with that. I think that Major League Baseball, I would hope they've learned a lot from last night's game, and that they need to, they're trying to, make baseball better, right? They've been putting these stupid rules with starting a guy on second base. I know that's going away, but I mean, the guy on second base, the intentional walk now, you can just point like Little League, hey, we want to put him on
just
first.
Put him on first.
All to make the game better, faster, and more interesting. Mm-hmm. They're doing it wrong. Just mic those players every day.
I've seen some players mic during the season. I've seen an outfielder on Boston.
Like a game of the week.
Yeah, and that really brings the fans right in. It draws them right in.
Right.
Believe it or not, I'm looking forward. I think it's August 11th, the Field of Dreams game. Last year, I know they had the Yankees involved.
Yeah.
This year, they're not, but it's just fun. I like the movie. Again, we grew up on baseball.
Yeah.
So.
Have you ever been to the Field of Dreams?
No.
I took my dad for Father's Day like 5 years ago.
Oh, nice.
It was incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. Let me ask you this about the home run derby. Obviously, it was really exciting. Soto ended up winning it. That kid Rodriguez from Seattle went bananas round one with like 30 home runs or something.
I'll tell you, the only one I bet, and I actually gave it out to my Krackwins guys, was Rodriguez.
Really?
In the first round. And when he went up there and had like 32 homers, I thought I was, that's it. Oh, my God, it's great. The other guy had like 24.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm shocked because he was up against Seager, Corey Seager, ex-Dodger. Now he's on the Rangers and a lefty. Usually lefties, for some reason, seem to do better, especially at Dodger Stadium.
That kid's a beast. And, it's a big disadvantage to go first. So now this kid, here you go, is first. Literally, he's a rookie.
Right, because
he goes first. And I even told my assistant, I was like, oh, man. This guy going first. I mean, I bet like 6,000 on this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. This guy's going first is a bad disadvantage for us. Sure enough, the first pitch he swings and misses. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I mean.
Right.
Second pitch, foul ball, whatever it was.
Then he got in the groove.
That's the idea behind the home run derby. You get in that groove.
Yeah.
He got in that groove and just belted out.
And his pitcher needs just as much props as he did hitting, because the pitcher's obviously laying it in there for you. And I don't know if you know that pitcher, he didn't take a stride like everyone else. He literally just was like flicking it with his arm.
Yeah.
He was perfect for every pitch, same spot.
Yeah, I noticed that this year they had a little bit different. They had someone else tell them when it's ready, when they were pointing, like saying, all right, now you can go, now you can go.
Right.
So you're right. A lot of the guys have their dads are there and pitching. It's a fun event for a family, as you could see, though. Anyway,
and
good time.
What are your thoughts on home run derby? Sometimes messes up a player for the second half.
Oh, very good.
It changes his swing.
It's the reason why I like Judge wasn't in there.
Right.
I mean, this kid Rodriguez in Seattle, great player. I hope it doesn't mess him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was. That happens sometimes. A lot of the big home run guys, or the guys that are even leading in the home runs, will not enter that because they're afraid that it'll mess them. Even their coaches, their managers, they really tell them, hey, we don't want to. We'd rather have you not in this. So.
Yeah, fun stuff. That was really fun last night. Okay, big topic number 2. Let's talk about NFL's right around the corner, Bill. I can't even believe this. But let's talk about NFL futures, unders, preseason betting. What do you got?
Actually, since I came back in town, and like I don't live here, I say it like that. I'm away so much, but I've been going to the border, back and forth to the Arizona border, which surprisingly is only about 45 minutes from the Strip. And as soon as you get past the dam, there's an exit 2 there. I think I sent you guys some video there. Yeah. It's funny, when I get off exit 2, you have to go across a cattle grate. You cannot, it's not a regular road. It's a cattle grate, dirt road, and then it's literally the end of the road.
And you're all alone.
I got out of the car, started videotaping, and I'm a mob historian, so I know that way there's a ton of bodies. So, and then you could just see these like rolling hills, and then there's a sign for the bighorn sheep, and I was like, wow, this is only 45 minutes from here. It's amazing. But anyway, going out there, I've been doing some futures. I'm actually going to go today again, betting some futures, and mostly, if I'm betting these individual player futures, which are like under, I like to bet under on a lot of different players, and the reason why is, it's almost a built-in edge you have, hoping that don't want no one to get extremely hurt, but you literally have that built in where someone just misses a game or two in an injury, you're probably going to win.
Right.
So I'm not looking to bet overs on many things when it involves a full season, and I'm again doing a lot of those players under, and also I think we released a under yesterday on Atlanta Falcons, and I guess they're picked to be the worst team in football because they have to go 4-13 in order for me to win my bet. So, I went under 5. And there's a couple more still. They kind of got ironed out a little bit quicker this season because FanDuel, DraftKings, they put them up in May. Literally been betting this stuff since May. So there is a couple more though. And
Cowboys.
I'm actually leaning under Cowboys.
You are?
Yeah, under. It's under 10.5 minus like 25 and 30.
That hurts.
I know.
Hurts.
But they're it's going to be them and the Eagles are going to be the dominant 2 teams there. And I actually seen the Eagles plus 2-1 to win that division, and that might be some good value there if the Cowboys are who we think they are, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But they're still picked to be number 1 in that division, so we'll see.
All right. Yeah. All right, now let's talk about big topic 3. Hasim Rahman Jr. You remember his dad was the boxer, the big hematoma, on his. I don't remember what fight that was.
Yeah.
I want to say I don't know. Remember who it was? But
I do.
You know what I'm talking
remember
about.
that too. On his
So
head.
he is.
He was a
fight,
tough guy. His father was a tough guy.
Oh yeah. So he's going to fight Jake Paul in just a few weeks. He was a sparring partner of Jake Paul's, and then they got into it verbally back then whenever he was sparring with him. And so I guess this has been a fight on Jake Paul's radar screen, wanting to set the record straight. And you know, he was on a press conference the other day saying, well, now I'm fighting a boxer and he's not that old. And so now I don't want to hear it anymore. He is fighting a boxer. I'll give him props on that. It's a boxer that Tommy Morrison's son just knocked out not too long ago, but he is fighting a boxer at least. I mean, do we give him any props for that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if he has any of his dad's skills, his dad was actually a 2-time heavyweight champion, by the way.
Yeah.
So if he has any of his dad's skills or his, hopefully he takes up some of them. I just think that Jake Paul's fights are probably handpicked, though. He knows he's going to win.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked yesterday we do a pre-call, and we all talked about this yesterday. You guys all think that zero chance that he'll ever fight like a guy like Tyson.
I don't. You think
like
it's
Mike
possible?
Tyson. Money is, you know,
okay.
Money is everything.
Yeah, and I agree with that. If that fight did happen, I think there's going to be a lot of rules in the contract. I don't see Mike throwing punches to the head, just like when Mike fought Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
No punches to the head.
Yeah, no,
from Mike.
They people bet on that fight, and a lot of people bet on that fight, and they didn't realize it was almost like a wrestling match in the end. It was like stage, draw. You both did good. Tyson won easy.
Right. But, like, you can't buy Mike Tyson to throw a fight for his legacy.
No.
So that's why I think there's no – I mean, I guess Jake Paul looks at it like if I got in the ring in a legitimate fight with Mike Tyson, it is win-win for Jake, right? Like, he's in the ring with Mike Tyson. I mean, anyone that's got the balls to do that, props to you, right?
Yeah.
And if he does get knocked out, as I would imagine he would – that's not a shocking thing.
No, it's
not.
So
it's win-win.
But it'll be a big money. You're talking about, you know, $100 million fight for both of them guys.
I think you've changed my mind. I think now I believe that fight's going to happen.
Money makes people do things. Money makes people do crazy things. I mean, you know, Mike had, you know, $300 million stolen from him. So he's building his bankroll up. Now he's making a lot of money.
Right.
Ever since the hangover, Mike is back on the upswing. And
so yesterday on our prep call for today, I said it's zero chance. I must have said it 4 times.
You did.
Zero chance Tyson ever fights Jake Paul. Now I'm saying it's past 50-50.
Yeah. That's cool.
See how easy I am to sway, Bill?
Cool.
Let's talk about my favorite thing, which is the UFC. There's been a major fight that just got announced yesterday, Bill. I know you're not a huge UFC fan.
No, it's okay.
However, I do know you know the name Nick Diaz because he's had 2 wars with Conor McGregor.
There's no odds up yet, though, yet.
Well,
right?
there is.
Is there?
So he's fighting Khamzat Chimaev. I always botch his last name. Sorry. He is Nate is a plus 750 underdog. One of our producers wrote unjustified slander to those odds. Our producer Rob is very unhappy about those odds.
I'm looking at the odds here.
I think they're spot on.
I don't see them yet.
So no? Okay.
Yet. No. So I do see Jake Paul minus 240 over Rahman, though. So which seems even low, maybe. I don't know. So.
I'm getting a note right now that DraftKings has the odds up for the Jake Paul. Check. Let's go check. No, check it out
for Jake Paul or
for the Nate Diaz fight. Sorry,
for Nate Diaz.
Sorry.
Okay, let's see. Let's go there.
Yeah, I'd like to see what.
When
you
is
got
it?
there.
When is it? By the way,
in a couple September 10th.
Oh,
September 10th here at T-Mobile.
It's actually a lot closer.
2 days after my birthday.
Okay.
I will be attending. Is that a fight I can get you to go to?
No.
Nate, no, you won't do it. Will you go to a Conor McGregor fight?
No.
There's no UFC fight I can get you to go to.
I shouldn't say that. I guess I would go. I've been to some fights before. I just,
you can take it or leave it.
Yeah. Well, let me see here. I'm up until the end here. I do see. What is this here in December? Conor McGregor.
That's a speculation. It's not announced, but they are trying to work on McGregor versus Mike Chandler for the
minus
New Year's
155.
card.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to comment on that. I like both of those fighters. You know I'm a Conor fan. I've OD'd on the Conor McGregor Kool-Aid, but Mike Chandler is a monster. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that fight for Conor coming back.
How do you say his name? Chimaev?
Yeah, Chimaev, I think. Yeah,
okay, he's 12.5 to 1 here.
Yeah,
over Diaz.
I think it's going to be what they call legal murder that night. I don't see Nate getting out of round 1. Certainly not out of round 2. He's no way that fight's going past 2 rounds.
Okay, cool.
That's an official prediction.
Wow.
Also coming up, we've got Chris Curtis and Jack Hermanson. That's a really good UFC fight. They're pretty much evenly matched. Jack is a warrior, but Chris Curtis, I think it's his time to shine. He's coming off a really good fight, and I'm real excited. This is a really great UFC fight.
This weekend?
I think that is this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see odds on that either. I'm sure it's up somewhere.
Chris is minus 102. Yeah, it's this weekend. Yeah.
It's like a pick'em.
Yeah. It's pretty close to a pick'em. That's one of those fights. Honestly, like I stay away from those. Like they're too. It's too close to call. I think Curtis does win. What's your thoughts on that? When it is close like that and it's a pick'em, is it better to lay off of a fight like that? Or
no, that doesn't mean anything. I see it. I see it actually now. Now I do see it. It's a pick'em fight everywhere. No, that doesn't mean it. Listen. You really don't want to lay giant odds in any sport. I know you could do that in the UFC, but I'll tell you. I'm not looking to lay these fights.
Anyone can get caught.
5 to 1, 6 to 1. And you get a knee or something, something happens. Now you have to win 6 fights to overcome that. So, no, pick'em is probably the better. I'm not looking to really maybe look to bet a couple live dogs or something. But I know I don't really do too much in the UFC. Yeah. As far as fighting, I would like to be able to parlay a couple. Now. That's something I usually don't do.
I know. I'm in shock right now.
It's a sucker bet.
You just used the P word.
Yeah. I'll use parlays on my. Actually, I will bet if I can bet my lines on my college football, college basketball, and stuff, and get the bets in before the line moves. You'll turn the parlay advantage around. You get 13 to 5. True odds is 3 to 1. Mm-hmm. You'll turn that around in the sports book because if you get something that moves 2 points on each game, then it's in your favor. Well, I think in the UFC. They do not. A lot of the sports books do not allow parlays. So I've tried it myself for a couple of friends asked me, and they don't allow parlays. So whenever the key sports books anyway don't allow parlays, it always makes me think that maybe parlaying might be worth something. Yeah. In those sports, and I'm talking about big books like Pinnacle, Offshore, the Circa in town here. A lot of these places don't allow parlays on certain things. If they don't allow it, it's probably
like
something.
Dana White Contender Series. I think they won't allow parlays.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Or they'll have limits. They put limits. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, good stuff. All right, Bill, it's time to bring on our guest. We have a great guest today, thanks to you. It's the co-host of BetQL Daily. She's a 2-time Emmy Award winner. I cannot say the same, Bill. Welcome to the show. Erin Hawksworth is with us today.
Hey, Erin.
I am so excited to be here. I've actually never told the Crackman this, but I was a big fan watching the Showtime series Action. So it's kind of surreal for me to now be friends, and Bill has been like a mentor to me as of late, and I'm learning so much every day from him. I'm sure we'll get into that. So thank you to both of you. And there's a backstory. Apparently I ghosted John back in the day, so we'll have to get to that too.
Well, Erin, that's nice of you. To be honest with you, we've talked so many times. I did not know you watched the show I had on Showtime. Good. That's good, yeah. And,
I didn't want to go full fangirl on you.
No, it's okay. Basically, I let a camera follow me around the casinos, and I think I was the guy on there that was real. I was betting my own money. I was, there was different things. Kelly in Vegas, who I love, she had her own thing going on. Then they had like the square guy who was in the sports book, Todd. And then the other story was on the scammer. I'm not going to go into it, but you got to have a villain. You have to have a bad guy. You have to have a bullshitter like him. So I didn't even know till the filming was over. A matter of fact, I didn't even know that he was on the show. I went absolutely nuts. I can't believe the producer.
What?
The producer, the showrunner, and the director called me. Was nice enough to call. I flipped out. The old New York Bronx came right out of me. I just like, how do you put this guy on the show with me? I didn't know this guy. This guy's bad news. And they actually did some stuff on that show because I went so crazy to show exactly what he does. So I'm all about transparency and helping people and doing the right thing and trying to help people and be a better. And he just some of the things he did was off, but I'm going off anyway. Anyway, listen, we've known each other for a while, and I appreciate those nice words. And I actually tried to. I've been wanting to take someone under my wing a little bit of the shows I do. During football season, I do about 9 different shows a week. So I did your show for the last year a few times, and you guys have a great show. I've done it multiple times, actually. And so I said, let me start giving you some games. Let me start showing you a little bit about my world and what I do. You know, not many people in media, as a matter of fact, I really can't name any in media. I can't name one that does what I do. You know, when I'm making a bet, and when I make a bet and give it out to my people at Krackwins, like yourself, I gave it to you, and now you're a member. You get our place. So I wanted to show you a little bit inside of the world of myself and what I do. And you know, when I say that, when I give out a game, by the time the game tips off, normally it's going to move a point or so, or a couple points in my direction. And I'm sure you actually, you know, really experienced that. The best example I can give you is the All-Star game. So I gave you the WNBA All-Star game. I think you missed it by a hair, but it didn't matter because it moved 10 points. And that,
my gosh.
Yeah, go ahead.
It happened even yesterday. I was on the show. I was going to bet a couple WNBA games. I checked like 5 different sports books, and the line had already moved like 4 points.
Yeah.
And I was so annoyed because sometimes I'll be talking to Bill and he'll be like, bet this right now.
Right now.
And then I'll be walking my dog or driving. And if I'm not free in that moment, like it is a split second that I have to bet it, or I'm like, you know, I'm like scrambling, checking every app I can find to see what the best number is, and like they already all moved. I missed the boat.
You have a couple minutes normally on stuff, especially if I you know, tell you to make sure you're checking or something. But she's amazing, John. She'll literally like pull, and I'm nervous for it too. I don't want to get, you know, like I don't want her to get in trouble at work or pull over a car, or, you know, like she literally like will stop instantly whatever she's doing. So now I'm saying, what time do you film? So I know. She goes, I don't care. Send me the games. I don't care. I'm filming. I'll do it in the background. So she has been really.
I bet more during the show than I do when I'm not on the show. I'm just constantly
honestly,
betting.
I not only a female, you name a male or anyone in this industry that's willing to learn like that and actually bet during the show. She's my kind of girl.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you just brought that up, the female part, because I was wondering, Erin, like, I think as a guy, is it insulting when guys are impressed that you're able to talk about sports on the level that you are and that you bet, or is it a compliment to you? Because we mean it as a compliment.
I think a lot of guys, like, let's just say I'm like out at a sports bar, or like, you know, meeting up with some friends who aren't in the business. I think they're like, you're not really into betting. You don't actually know what you're talking about or whatever. And like, they can't believe it. And then when I start talking, they're like, oh, whoa, like she knows more than us,
right?
You know? So, but I don't really talk about it. It's like, listen, if you want to assume I have no idea what I'm talking about, go ahead. I don't care. Keep betting and losing your money irresponsibly. It's not my problem.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't really even know this. So I read your impressive resume here. The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. You had some really good colleges you went to. Talk about how you started in the industry, how you broke through in media. When you first started out, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Oh, wow. Well, I usually like asking the questions, and sometimes I don't love talking about myself, so it's a little awkward. But so I was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, and long story short, I ended up going to Arizona State. And had a great time. Terrell Suggs lived in the dorms with me. Cool. So that kind of gives you an idea of how long ago that was. But back then I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was writing for the school newspaper and ended up breaking a story about the Russian mafia hacking into our school computer system. And it made like news in Phoenix. So the local news came and interviewed me about it. And then the reporter who interviewed me was like, you should go into TV. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm just going to do public relations or whatever. You know, I wasn't in broadcasting. And she's like, no, you really should come intern with us. So I did. And then I ended up getting into the sports department there at KPNX, the NBC affiliate in Phoenix, stayed there a year, was, around the Suns and the Cardinals and Diamondbacks. And then I absolutely loved it. So I made like a fake resume tape because I hadn't really done a lot of reporting like most, young students that age. So I did stuff with my intern, like little clips, going out in the field with different reporters and stand-ups. And then I just blasted it, sent it to a bunch of news stations, and ended up getting my first job in Grand Junction, Colorado. Was there about a year. And then I started, looking for another job. I actually had a job offer and a contract from the CBS affiliate in Las Vegas. When I got a call from the sports director in Dallas, his name's Dale Hansen, and I thought it was a joke, like someone was pulling a prank on me. Sure enough, they flew me out to Dallas, barely paid me anything, but I was like, what? I'm not going to turn down this opportunity. So I think once I got my foot in the door, I was able to kind of parlay that into the next job. So I feel like I've been in like so many different cities. Let's see, Boston, Dallas, obviously Toronto. I was on Sportsnet in Canada, and then to Seattle, CNN International in Atlanta, doing all international sports, which was actually a little overwhelming in the beginning, even covering cricket and stuff like that. But I learned a lot.
Sure.
Lots of tennis, lots of golf. We did a lot of NBA, but not like NFL and stuff, because it basically was broadcast in every city but the US. And then I've been in DC for about 7 years. So I was the main sports anchor on the ABC affiliate in DC for about 5 years. And then now I'm here.
How'd you get into this side? How'd you get into sports betting? This is which is great. I've seen. Listen, there's many people like yourself in sports betting, and I'm going to tell you right now, out of all the people I know, she's really, like I said, a good student of the game. But the podcast is fantastic. Actually, give a plug for your podcast. Is that on every single day? Is the show on every day?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do the listeners and viewers get to that?
Yeah, so BetQL Daily is the name of the show. So BetQL is think of like a smaller startup network within a big network, Odyssey, who owns tons of radio stations across the country. The vice president, Matt Volk, is someone I knew from the DC area. And when they were starting up this network, a little over a year ago, I was living in California, and he was like, hey, we're starting this betting network. I know you're into gambling. I had been in a few years, and I was trying to be a student. I not nowhere near the level of some people, but I was always trying to learn and talk to people, watching your show, trying to absorb as much information to get better. And so I auditioned 5 times. It's kind of a long process. Finally got the job, and they paired me with Joe Ostrowski and Joe Giglio. So they're kind of like my little brother and big brother. We have fun. We make fun of each other. It's a good time, Monday through Friday, 9 to noon Eastern. It's also streaming on Twitch. It's streaming on the Spotify app. And then you can also find us wherever you download your podcasts. I think the goal of the network is to be streaming on some kind of network eventually. We're still, a newer network, but we recently, as an entire network, are now sponsored by BetMGM. So that's really exciting. It's really grown. It's so much fun. And I love it. Like I said, I'm betting during the show. I'm betting after the show. We have our group text with the co-hosts and the producers, and we're always talking crap to each other. And I can't wait to head into the second year. It's been about a year now.
Awesome. Wow, that's really good. It's so tough to do, John. 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'll tell you that's almost impossible.
Especially this time of year. It's
there's nothing going on really. Well, there is though. We talked about, for us, there is, as you know, the WNBA and all different sports. That we just had the All-Star game, but it's difficult compared to football season. Everyone loves the NFL. Let's face it. Everyone loves betting the NFL. Everyone loves talking NFL. It's covered more than any other sport. And I know that time of the year when NFL season comes, I enjoy it now much more than I did even 5 years ago. I really wasn't a fan because I know it's very hard to beat NFL sides, which I don't even bet hardly. But I did, now I'm betting proposition bets. I'm betting totals and first half totals. So that'll be a fun time of the year. Well, listen, we only have a couple weeks here. You'll be talking preseason football, and you'll be involved with us at Krackwins. You'll see some nice line moves again there. So look forward to that.
And we've already been betting, at least I have, NFL for at least a couple months now, because by the time, if you're waiting until week 1, the lines, you're not going to get the same kind of value. So, we did a futures day today on the show. You can go and download the podcast if you're looking to bet any NFL futures in the awards market. And then just I learned this year the drafts have been, you can find some real value in the drafts. And I know, Crack, you've crushed every draft.
Yeah. No, we did good with the NHL draft. Of course, Banchero in the NBA draft was one of my biggest scores I ever made. And gave that out to all my guys. So, yeah, it's fun stuff.
Yeah, Erin, that's what I was going to ask you about was Krackwins. I know that you're a member now of Krackwins. And what are some of the things that you've learned from Crack, specifically about like line moves and how important it is to get closing line value?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, shopping around, because even, Crack will tell me, or I'll look on Krackwins and see, what the plays are. And I'll always shop around and try. Sometimes I can even find a better number than what's on there. Yeah. And then other times I've missed the boat. So you got to be quick. You've got to be on top of it. But I think my biggest takeaway so far is like the more obscure markets, like Crack just said, betting NFL spreads. He says it all the time. You can't make a living doing that. So I see he's betting WNBA and Summer League and things that maybe, Tour de France, like things that a lot of people aren't betting. I notice Crack is in on those markets. And I think that's, a really good place to look. Like, don't look where fans are looking. We have, I don't want to call these guys out, but I guess I am. We have a Twitch chat like during our show, and there's some guys who are like, oh, I don't want to talk NFL. It's still June. It's still July. I'm like, okay, well, by the time August and September rolls around, like you will have missed the boat.
Very good. Very good. That's great. You're really on top of it. You really are. It's exactly right. And, we'll do just yesterday, I think we sent out a couple futures, one future at least. But, you're very smart to actually take it in, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people have egos, and people have egos, and they want to do it themselves. They want to pat themselves on the back. Well, I'll tell you something. Even the guys that work for me, and I have 4 or 5 different guys during different seasons throughout the season. I'm learning from them, and I'm happy to learn. Listen, I did my own. This is something you're going to hear for the first time. I did all my own work, all my own power charts, my rankings back 20 years ago. And I literally made money every year. However, I found the sharpest people in the world that are the mindsets of total geniuses. As a matter of fact, I can never bring them on air. They're just not socially functionable. If that's the right word. They literally. I'm not going to throw this kid under the bus because he'll know what I'm talking about. But they don't have the greatest social skills. Literally, they don't have the greatest social skills, but they're geniuses, though. Literally, one graduated from 3 years from an Ivy League school. It's just a genius. But
I totally get it. I took a little break from media and worked in sales, and I was selling for surgeons, plastic surgery. And these doctors are the same way. There's no way they could meet with these future patients because they would blow the whole deal up. God. They're rude. They have no social
bedside
skills,
manner.
But they are geniuses. I'd be like, don't worry about the conversation, not the best personality, but this is who you want doing your surgery.
Yeah.
Bill always says his allegiance is his bankroll, and I see that in your Twitter profile pic, you're rocking a Seattle Supersonics jacket, which is just gangster. I love it.
Yes.
Have you reached that point where you can bet against any team? Like, I'm a diehard Dodger fan, a diehard Cowboys fan. It's still hard for me to bet against them. I've gotten to a point where I can lay off of a game if it's Cowboys or Dodgers and not bet it, but I can't necessarily bet against them. Have you reached the point where you can bet against your favorite teams?
That is a great question. I think because I've been in the media, sports media for almost 20 years, that you sort of lose the fandom a bit, or at least I have. And I've also lived in so many different markets. My whole family, they're Raiders fans. Been a tough road for the family on Sundays with a lot of penalties, a lot of screaming at the TV. So I was able to jump off that bandwagon a little bit and take a step back and take the emotions out of it. Being in DC, I was, around the now the Commanders, every day. I mean, I was at every game for several years. And now with everything going on with Dan Snyder and just the constant drama, I find myself wanting them to fail, like the opposite of, so then I find myself, okay, I already bet the Jags week 1 plus money. So I don't know. I think I'm able to put it to the side because there's not a team that I'm a super diehard fan of anymore.
Good, because it's very important not to be a fan of any team. I grew up, back in New York and New Jersey, going to Yankee games, going to Met games. Well, my whole family was Yankee fans, and now me as a kid, I was a Yankee fan, I guess, but I would literally like to root for the Mets more just because everyone else was a Yankee fan. And I had some bad teams I rooted for back in the
I will say I grew up a Mariners fan, Ken Griffey Jr., A-Rod, I love them, right? So I did buy in. Yes, I did buy into the hype that they were going to do some big things this season. Now they have been good as of late. Yeah, but I had some futures on them. Yeah, but they're on a roll now, and I love Julio Rodriguez. That was like his coming out party during the home run derby. But that is one where I probably went a little fangirl this season. I will admit I had some futures before the season.
I sent you that, I sent you that Rodriguez. I don't know if you bet that.
Yes,
Rodriguez
I did. I bet it
in the first round there.
Corey Seager got a bad deal with that matchup though because he had the second highest total of home runs in the first round.
Me and John were talking about that. We were like, John, this guy hit like 23 home runs. He was unbelievable.
If he wasn't up against Julio, his dad was kind of tossing the ball. His dad did not help him.
Okay, yeah. No, he was.
Didn't you think he was a little slow and all over the place, but he still crushed it?
So I would think you'd be so nervous that your dad. I would think the dad would be so nervous pitching to his son on a big platform.
And you're back at Dodger Stadium where you started.
Oh my God.
And you can't yell at your dad like, throw it inside. What are you doing? Speed it up, man.
Cool. Well, listen, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on, and I really I really appreciate you taking under my wing here and actually listening, because a lot of people can't listen. A lot of people say, well, I'm not betting that. I love this guy. Bet against the Lakers. I love LeBron James. I can't bet against the Lakers or whatever, So I really appreciate you being a good student, and now you're really not a student. You're in your game. You're very astute, actually. So you know what's up, and we really appreciate you having you on, and we look forward to having you on again.
Awesome. This has been so much fun. I look forward to the next time. And I'm so excited for football season. Cannot wait.
Cool. Well, thanks, Erin. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Oh, don't forget, next time John texts you, just get back to him. That's all. No big deal. Appreciate it. So, thanks, Erin.
Sorry, John.
It's all good.
I owe you a show or two.
Fair enough. All right. Do I have tire marks on my arm from you backing over me in the bus?
No, she's cool, though.
She was great. Yeah.
I know that she'll roll with that, and now you got her on your 24 hours.
I love it. Thank you. You're a producer of the Action Junkie show now. I like it. Yeah. She's a Krackwins member. I love hearing that, which I want to remind everyone while we're talking about it. Download the Krackwins app. Even the pros are using it now. It's on Apple, it's on Google Play, or you can just go to crackwins.com. It's got to make you feel good when,
It makes you feel good when you win. I gave her a lot of WNBA games, and she sees the line movement, and I feel so bad when we lose. Like last night, she said we gave her a game, moved 4 points. I mean, we lost the game.
Right.
We don't always win. Wow, someone admits that in social media and on a show that you lose. Wow, this is like so different than most shows. But yeah, no, I kind of took it personal, like, oh God, I hate giving out plays to friends because they don't understand over the long term. We're going to win. We're going to go 6-4 and literally 11.5 and 8.5, and they were like, well, I could do that. So literally. But she sees the value of the move. She sees she's never been involved in anything like that. That's what we do. So we still got some WNBA, of course, here. Golf's been great. We were 4-0 this past week in golf matchups. The majors have been unbelievable.
Even that, you just cruise over that like it's no big deal. We're 4-0 in golf. That's a big deal.
It is.
That's a lot of money you just made some people.
Yeah, no. I gave it to her, too. I gave her our best matchup was McIlroy over Rahm, and I gave that to her. And I know she played that, so she she's a good student of the game, and we literally are rolling along with things now. I told her what's coming up now in the next couple of weeks is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be this, preseason football, and let me just tell you, the line moves are unbelievable, but it's also great to get victories and to win. So we kind of crushed that market, and I'm looking forward to that. We still do the golf, like I said. Then we'll have the regular NFL season. Of course, we killed that last year, which is, it's so hard for me to talk about NFL in this light because I always, not that I talk down about it, but it's so hard to beat the NFL. But that's everyone's fans' favorite sport. So we literally have overcome that by proposition bets, first quarter, or first half totals, and totals in general. So anyway, looking forward to it. Krackwins.com and the Krackwins app.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, we might as well bring up WSN.com. Yep. Have you been over there yet this morning?
Of course.
When you wake, how soon after you open your eyes in the morning are you at WSN.com?
Well, listen, I like to know what's going on. There used to be a site years ago, they closed down, it's unbelievable, that had news stories every day, different things about the industry, what's going on. Now WSN has taken that role. So not only can you find all of our podcasts on WSN.com, but you can find articles on predictions, odds, news is the first section, stories about all different things, Major League Baseball picks, actually, I'm seeing there more soccer predictions. These are articles that are updated every day, and I really appreciate that. But going back to what I was talking about, the all news section, which is the U.S. sports betting news. I like to find out which states are going to be legal, what's going on in the states, when the elections are happening, and you could find them all there. I mean, literally, there's 6 articles just from July 15th here. On all different things. One is California, which I'm really looking forward to. We need California legal. We need Florida legal. That's the 2 states I'm really hoping gets legalized sports betting. So many people in those states are betting with their local bookmaker, and now they'll be able to bet with a legal sports book. And looking forward to that. So anyway, WSN.com. Also, the number one thing is the bonuses. They've negotiated some great bonuses at sportsbooks in your jurisdiction. You can just click on the bonuses or click on your home state, and you'll see all the different, the great bonuses they've have for the, just the Caesars bonus. I've seen a Caesars bonus there of a $1,500 match, which I know that if you Google here it is, $1,500 risk free. If you Google Caesars Sportsbook, you really can't get that bonus. So that's not the only one. I mean, I'm on New Jersey now. Caesars $1,500 free bets. FanDuel $1,000 in free bets. How about this one? DraftKings $1,000 deposit bonus. That's really important to get $1,000 cash in your account. BetMGM another $1,000. There's really some good bonuses here they've negotiated. So WSN.com.
I have a question for you that I've never asked you. When you just opened WSN and you said all our podcasts are there, and I saw the little thumbnails of our shows. Yep. I asked my dad this, I think, on the show that we did with him. When he was back in his heyday and he had #1 records and a TV show, like, did he stop and really take it all in and think wow,
probably not.
I'm doing it. I actually had the same question for you. Like, you started doing this, 20 years ago. Like you brought up, you've been on Action, but you were just on Jim Rome.
Yeah.
Or did you do it yet?
I did Jim Rome.
So you just were on Jim Rome. You've been on ESPN.
Yeah.
Now you've got a podcast every week. Do you stop and go, wow?
It's a great question. And I talked to someone recently about this, and, you kind of like pinch yourself. It's actually been amazing. Did I ever think I'd have a show on Showtime? No, that's there forever. I know if you have Showtime, you can go to Showtime On Demand, and literally it's alphabetical order, and Action is like one of the first shows on there. So it's like, wow. I mean,
and people still stop you.
Oh, definitely. Oh God, especially on the East Coast.
I've seen it.
Yeah, no, I was on the East Coast just now, and people, want to ask questions, want to know. Yeah, it's great, and I did a show in New York, WFAN, which is the Fan, which is a big show back in New York area. It's in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. It's just when I grew up on that show, so going to that studio was such a big thing to me.
Yeah.
But now I think about it, compared to other things I've done, ESPN, I've been on ESPN a dozen times, and I've done so many different shows during football season, during, it's really humbling, though. It really is. And
I
don't really take it in, but you're right.
To walk through a casino with Bill Krackomberger on the East Coast, it's like walking through the Vatican with the Pope. This is what it's like, really, people. But how about the Pope comparison?
Yeah, no, it's funny. The East Coast is amazing, though. I literally, every casino I go into, someone is a fan of either Action, or I do a show on Thursdays, a nationwide show. I do a Sirius satellite radio show. So they know me from the shows and know me from trying to help people and remaining humble to my old school roots. It's the biggest thing, knowing where you come from. Yeah. So I'm not like J-Lo, who has no idea that she doesn't. I'll throw her under the bus worse than you.
Yeah.
She just got married in Vegas. I don't know what Ben's thinking. I'll put the over 3 years, and the under 3 years minus 150 for her to last with him.
I agree.
She's not a good person, man. I've seen her personally. If
tipping.
I only heard about
tipping.
it, She doesn't tip.
She's been getting blasted on Twitter about tipping. I don't know if you saw that.
She's not a good person, man. I watched her. I seen her at Cosmo from Me to You. I watched the way she talked to people, talked down to people.
Yeah.
Jenny, you're from the Bronx.
She's Jenny from the block. She forgot.
From the Bronx. You forget about this, honey?
Yeah.
Please, give me a break.
Yeah.
So that'll never be me. I'm always looking to help people and trying to be nice to people and remember where you come from. And I don't know how we got on J-Lo. Jesus.
I don't know, but you're a good man, Bill Krackomberger. This was a good show.
I don't claim to be a good man. I'm not trying
well, you are.
I'm not trying to look for any. Trust me, I'm Joe Public. I'm relatable to everybody because I am them. And you have to be relatable to people. You have to be nice to people. It's the way my parents taught me to be. So
yeah.
Anyway.
This was a fun show.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's do it again next week.
All right.
We'll see you next week
guys.
on Wise Kracks.